All right, let's talk about the Houston real estate market. If you've been watching, you know things have gotten, well, really interesting. The whispers are over and the data is officially in. The power has shifted big time. And today, we're going to break down the 5 key numbers that prove it. So let's just dive right in.
This quote right here, it says it all. For what feels like the first time in forever, we're talking over a decade. If you're a home buyer in Houston, you are in the driver's seat. We're about to show you just how much the tables have turned in your favor.
So, how do we actually know this? This isn't just a feeling or a hunch. Nope, this is about cold, hard data. We've pinpointed 5 specific numbers that, when you see them all together, they paint this undeniable picture. Houston is now a buyer's world.
Okay, let's get right into the evidence. We're going to walk through each of these 5 numbers, piece by piece, so you can see exactly where all this newfound power is coming from.
First things first. The biggest question anyone has about any market is always about the bottom line, right? Are prices going up or are they going down? Well, in Houston, the answer is crystal clear.
And there it is, a negative number. Home values across the entire Houston metro area have dropped 1.9% in the last year. Now, you might think that's not a huge crash, but for a market that has been as steady as Houston's, believe me, that's a massive signal that the tide has turned.
And to really put that in perspective, this isn't just a little dip, it's the biggest one-year drop we have seen in over a decade. You have to go all the way back to 2011 to find anything like it. It's a clear reversal of a very, very long trend.
Okay, so prices are down. That's big. But what about your options? A huge part of being in a buyer's market is having choices. So let's take a look at the inventory. 34,000. That is how many homes are currently listed for sale in the Houston area. It's a pretty staggering number. And for you, as a buyer, it means one simple thing. You have more choice than you've had in a very, very long time. Just to give you some context here, 34,000 isn't just a big number. It's the most homes Houston has had on the market in 10 years. Think about it. During the pandemic craze, there were only about 16,000 homes to choose from. The inventory has literally more than doubled since then.
So we have a decade-high number of homes for sale. But is this just the market getting back to normal after a few crazy years? Or is something else going on here? Let's dig a little deeper on that supply.
This number, right here, tells the real story. The inventory today isn't just high, it's a full 37% above Houston's long-term historical average. So no, this isn't a correction, it's what you'd call a supply glut.
This chart just visualizes it perfectly. You can literally see the current inventory bar towering over what the market is used to. And when you have that much more supply than normal, it puts a ton of pressure on sellers to compete for buyers.
Okay, so with this flood of houses for sale, what happens to the selling timeline? This brings us to our 4th crucial number, which measures how long it's taking for properties to actually sell, what we call days on market.
Right now, homes in Houston are sitting on the market 16% longer than they were just 1 year ago. For a seller, every single one of those extra days means another mortgage payment, more bills, more upkeep, and you guessed it, more pressure to just make a deal.
This isn't just a boring statistic. That 16% increase, it translates directly into seller anxiety. And in this kind of market, time is a buyer's absolute best friend. The longer that house sits, the more open that seller is going to be to negotiation. And that creates a huge opportunity for you.
So, let's just recap. We have falling prices, record inventory, and homes just sitting there for longer and longer. What's the logical result of all that pressure on sellers? What action are they being forced to take?
23%. Just let that sink in for a second. This is the price cut rate. It means that almost 1 out of every 4 homes for sale in Houston has had its price drop from what the seller originally wanted.
Think about what that really means. You can drive down any street with 4 for sale signs, and statistically, one of those sellers has already had to lower their price. This isn't some rare thing. It's a huge, market-wide sign that sellers are realizing their initial expectations just don't match reality anymore.
Okay, so we've looked at all 5 of these numbers individually. Now let's do the fun part. Let's connect the dots and see how they all work together to create this massive advantage for anyone looking to buy a home in Houston.
See, none of these things exist in a vacuum. You've got prices falling, you have more choice than you've had in 10 years, there's a huge supply surplus, you have nervous sellers watching their homes just sit there, and nearly a quarter of them are already cutting their prices. It's a perfect storm, and when you put it all together, the result is undeniable. Maximum buyer leverage.
So, knowing you have all this power is one thing.
But how do you actually use it? Let's turn all this data into a simple, practical playbook. Okay, here's your game plan. First, feel confident offering below the asking price. With values already down 1.9% market-wide, you have the data to back it up. Second, actually present that market data. Show the seller why your offer is fair in today's market. Third, think beyond the price tag. Ask the seller to cover some of your closing costs. That saves you thousands up front. And finally, after the inspection, don't be shy about asking for repairs or credits. With homes sitting 16% longer, sellers want to keep the deal together. They are way more likely to say yes.
We've seen the data, we've laid out the strategy, the entire power dynamic in Houston real estate has fundamentally flipped, which leaves us with one last question for you.
For the first time in over a decade, the leverage is all yours. The numbers don't lie. You have more choice, you have more time, and you have way more negotiating power than any Houston buyer has had in years. The cards are on the table, and they're in your hand. The only real question left is, how are you going to play them?